LTFRB, maghunos dili kayo. Dahil kapag hindi, pareho tayong sasabog. Believe. I would like to commend you on your passionate and in pursuing this resolution for our hardworking jeepney drivers. Mr. President, ang bottom line dito sa nakikita ko ay salapi. May mga gustong kumita. Unang-una na dyan, they're now salivating. Tumutulo ng laway nito mga taga-LTFRB na atat ng kumita ng mga pilak. God knows who does not pay. Alam niyo po yung sa jeepney? Nakalagay, God knows who does not pay. Maraming mga hudas. Yes, na gustong yumaman. Gustong tumiba-tiba. At the expense of the mga pobreng jeepney drivers. Just imagine, 2.4 million po ang halaga ng yung modernized jeep na sinasabi nila. At 300,000 naman po ang mabibigyan na subsidy. So 2.1 million po ang kailangang pagbabayaran ng mga jeepney drivers. Alam naman po ng mga taga-LTFRB kung magkano lang po kinikita ng isang jeepney driver sa maghapon. Ang marami sa kanila hindi pa nga po makabuo ng boundary. Ang ilan sa kanila kahit isang tuka dahil nga po mahina ang kita. Pagkatapos kakargahan ng 2.1 million pesos na poproblemahin babayaran, ang kakapal ng mga mukha nito mga nagtutulolaway ng mga taga-LTFRB. At tama kayo, Mr. President, I agree with you. Yung mga taga-LGU, kanya-kanyang diskarte. Ayaw magbigay ng rota dahil gusto nila saraginin yung rota, kailan dumaan sa kanila. I have so many experiences, hindi naman po lahat. Ito mga taga-LGU, gustong kumita. Hinuhuli po yung mga jeepney drivers. Hinuhuli po yung mga tricycle sapagkat gusto nilang magkaroon ng sarili nilang unit. Gusto nila maging mga operators. Marami din sa mga taga-LGU, again, hindi naman po lahat na mga loko-loko, unfortunately. Sa halip na kaawa ng kanilang mga constituent, mga taong bumoto sa kanila, yung pang kanilang mga ginigipit. FYI, mga taga-LTFRB, ang jeepney po ay parte na ng ating kultura. As a matter of fact, ang mga taga-ibang bansa, pinupuri po ang ating mga jeepney. At ginagamit po ito bilang tourist attraction sa kanilang lugar. Ipinagmamalaki ang jeepney natin. Pagkatapos tayo, ipipace out natin ang ganun-ganun na lamang. Ang kakapal na mukha nito mga taga-LTFRB. Ang kakapal na mga mukha nitong ilan mga taga-LGU. Hindi nag-iisip. Ang tanging iniisip lamang po nila, Mr. President, ang kanilang bulsa. And adding insult to injury, saan galing? Saan manggagaling itong mga jeepney? Galing ng China. Na kung saan, itong mga taong ito, ang hanggang ngayon, even while we speak, ay tuloy-tuloy na inapi ang ating mga mangingisda. Pagkatapos sa pinating mga ngisda, tutulungan natin sila na para kumita, pagkakitaan, ang mga jeepney drivers. Para kumita, ang mga INUTIL na mga taga-LTFRB. Mr. President, baka marami pa akong masasabi. Ako ma-high blood. Ang sasabihin ko lang, LTFRB, maghunos dili kayo. Dahil kapag hindi, pareho tayong sasabog, believe me or not. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Hinihingi ko ang suporta ng buong Senado para prenohan ang tinakdang phase-out ng mga hari ng kalsada sa darating na ika-30 ng Hunyo 2023. The planned phase-out is yet another sordid chapter in the PUV modernization program. I can say this with certainty as I chaired the committee hearings which have generated enough transcripts to fill a jeepney. But to make the long story short, the PUV modernization program seeks to compel existing jeepney operators to consolidate and form fleets of 15 modern jeepneys, which will file routes established by local government units. Each modern jeepney costs 2.8 million pesos, which will be loaned and paid out of pocket. To speed up the policy, the LTFRB unilaterally converted all existing jeepney franchises into one-year provisional authorities. It is the most recent in the most recent Memorandum Circular 2023-13, the LTFRB imposed the deadliest deadline. Jeepney operators who have not joined an existing consolidated entity by June 30, 2023, or those who fail to file a petition to consolidate by October 30, 2023, will have their franchises revoked. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the LTFRB should be reminded that jeepney drivers do not have deep pockets. The most recent study estimates that the average daily take-home pay is a meager 755 pesos. Somehow, the LTFRB still expects a gold mine of capital to the tune of 2 million pesos per unit. Hiwalay pa ang cost just to consolidate. A news article estimates that jeepney operators must put up 300,000 pesos in paid-up capital just to register as a transport cooperative. And here's the kick. The equity subsidy provided by the government is a measly 160,000 pesos, not a million, 180,000. Wala pa ito sa 7% ng bagong unit. Ginoong Pangulo, 4 na beses na nag-extend ang LTFRB ang kanilang deadline. Pero kahit kailan ay hindi naman nasagot ang mga reklamo sa programa tungkol sa subsidiya para sa equity ng mga bagong unit. To quote a recent study on the PUV modernization program, it has been too focused on vehicle replacement. Sequencing in the implementation of the PUVMP is very critical. It could have started with regulatory reform, local route, formulation and submission, and route rationalization first before embarking on fleet modernization. This would have given stakeholders better appreciation of the program, an additional grace period, and more time for the operators, drivers to prepare. To implement this program, we need route rationalization. Taon-taon, tuwing nanghihingi ng budget para sa PUV modernization, ay hinihingi natin ang route rationalization plan. But DOTR just entered a 3-year technical cooperation project with JICA in June 2022, only 5 years after the program was launched. Part of the JICA outputs is database of traffic volume as the basic information for the route rationalization plan in Metro Manila and assessment of existing and future routes of PUVs. Based on their 2023 budget submission, the route rationalization studies are still being finalized. Wala pa nga yun eh. Wala pang mga ruta na maaari nating sabihin. Bakit pinapahirapan ang mga driver at commuter kung hindi pa nga nagagawa ng gobyerno ang pag-aaral na ipinangako nito? To enforce a deadline is not only insanity but also inhuman. Hindi makatao, Mr. President. It is contrary to the constitutional directive to promote social justice in all phases of national development. It is also contrary to the public welfare, as it will compound the acute shortage of public transportation modes in the country. Tignan na lamang natin ang pila tuwing rush hour, naghahabulan. Kulang tayo sa tren as the MRT3 is operating beyond capacity. The reported PNR shutdown to speed up construction of the North-South commuter rail will leave us its 180,000 daily passengers without a ride for at least 5 years. Kulang tayo sa bus as seen in the long queues even on the weekend. Pahirapan at tagaan din ang presyo ng Grab. Pero parang bingi ang LTFRB sa kabila ng paghihirap na dinaranas ng mga commuter at drivers. If the LTFRB proceeds with the phase-out, it might result to 50,000 jeeps being taken off the road. If transport groups proceed with their strike, that's at least 40,000 jeepneys off the street starting March 6. And speaking of social justice, we have a pending bill which seeks to provide a just and humane transition to the PUV modernization program. We are not against modernization. If anything, we want to make it easier to achieve. There's always a win-win solution, and that begins with a united stand from the Senate. We thus move for its adoption of proposed Senate Resolution number 507, Mr. President. Thank you. Pag itong mga binibiling mga modernized jeep na to nasira, wala namang mga dealers na yan dito eh. So yung mga parts, pahirapan ng pagkuha. Naalala rin yung mga Mahindra. noon.
Of course.
'Di ba? Naging problema din 'yan, 'di ba? Bakit tayo nagse-settle sa ganon? So, yun nga, parang merong gustong kumita. Kaya sa hearing, gusto ko rin matanong, sino ba ang nagbibigay ng accreditation sa mga kooperatiba? At paano nila, kasi bago ka sumali sa kooperatiba, sasabihin sa'yo, oh, pero i-modernize mo yung jeep mo. Dito mo lang bibilin. So may mga, 'di ba? Meron ng mga connection sila. So yun lamang po.
I just would like to encourage the chairman of public services na sana during her investigation into this issue, establish natin yung sinasabi ni Senator Majority Leader na may mafia na sa likuran nito. So kawawa naman yung mga maliliit na driver natin na mahirap na nga, mamapyahin pa ng sarili niyang gobyerno. Eh kung totoo itong may mafia, dapat malaman natin ito, tulungan natin itong imbestigahan para malaman. Kasi there seems to be a scheme of everything. Pamimbro ka muna ng kooperatiba, din pagkatapos sa membro, hindi ka magiging membro kapag hindi ka mag-procure yung jeep na modernized jeep. So sana ma-establish natin ito kung sino itong mga mafia na ito. And Mr. President, I stand before you today to join this August chamber in calling the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board to defer the scheduled phase-out of all traditional jeepneys by June 30, 2023. The Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program of the Department of Transportation and the LTFRB has the most notable intention, and that is to provide a safe, convenient, contemporary, and state-of-the-art public transportation system. We in the government are doing our best to provide the riding public a hassle-free public transportation experience. However, we should be realistic in fulfilling this dream and acknowledge the difficulties that lie ahead. Ginoong Pangulo, kaisa po ninyo ako sa paghangad ng modernong pamamaraan at palakad ng pampublikong transportasyon. Ngunit, kailangan natin isalang-alang ang limitasyon at hirap na hinaharap ng mga driver na mga tradisyonal na jeepneys na namamayagpag sa ating mga daan sa maraming dekada na nakalipas. Traditional jeepneys, otherwise known as the king of the roads, have been the significant symbol of our busy streets in Manila. Even in the provinces, the size of these iconic commuters to their respective workplaces and to reach their families back home after a day's work. Sa kagustuhan natin na mabigyan ng modernong mukha ang ating mga jeepney sa lansangan, naiisip ba natin ang magugugol na halaga ng mga drivers, operators at maging mga local manufacturers para maisakatuparan ang tinakdang programa ng DOTR at LTFRB para sa modernisasyon ng publikong sasakyan. Hirap. Nagkabulol-bulol tuloy ko to. We in the Senate are not insensitive to the plight of our drivers, operators, and local manufacturers. With the economic crisis brought by the pandemic, the transportation sector suffered much from the economic losses brought by COVID-19. With this in mind, utmost consideration, therefore, should be the burden that we pass on to our partners in the public transportation sector. Hence, I add my voice in appealing to the LTFRB to give more time to carry out the phase-out of our traditional jeepneys. Today, more than ever, our compassionate hearts should speak louder than the call of modernization. Thank you, Mr. President.